This week on Healthy Living, a close look at monkeypox as cases increase globally. And how concerned are you about monkeypox? Your reactions coming up. Plus, a simple saliva test can help detect breast cancer risks. These stories and more in this edition of Healthy Living. Hello, I'm Linor Moudou. Thank you for joining us on Healthy Living. Monkeypox is slowly making its way around the world. More than 300 suspected and confirmed cases of monkeypox have been reported in over 20 nations, mostly in Europe, according to the World Health Organization. Monkeypox is a viral zoonotic disease caused by the monkeypox virus and can be transmitted to humans by infected animals. The virus was first found in monkeys in 1958, but rodents are now seen as the main source of transmission. Usually mild illness, monkeypox spreads through close contact between people, which is rare. Monkeypox is in the smallpox family, but is less severe. Smallpox was eradicated by vaccination, and the smallpox vaccines have also been found to be effective in preventing monkeypox. Experts say so far the current outbreak has shown no significant threat to life or the community that can result in severe disease or high case fatality rate. Justine Mullen-Kozendian has more.
The outbreak of monkeypox is raising alarm as it spreads around the world. Experts say the sudden appearance of monkeypox simultaneously in several non-endemic countries is unusual. However, the World Health Organization does not believe the current outbreak will lead to a pandemic. Rosamund is WHO's head of the Smallpox Secretariat, part of the organization's emergencies program.
So at the moment, we are not concerned of a global pandemic. However, we are, and that word would need to be defined in the context of an orthopox virus, we are concerned that individuals may acquire this infection through high-risk exposure if they don't have the information they need to protect themselves. And we are concerned that because the global population is not immune to orthopox viruses since the end of smallpox eradication, that the virus may attempt to exploit a niche and spread more easily between people. But we don't have the answers to this question yet.
Monkeypox is a viral disease that causes fever and a distinct bumpy rash. Most cases of monkeypox have been reported in Europe during the current outbreak. The United States, Australia, and Argentina are among countries that have also reported an outbreak. Scientists are looking into what might explain this upsurge in countries where the virus is not typically found. Experts say the sporadic monkeypox outbreaks are not unusual in Central and West African countries where the virus is endemic. The Nigeria Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has announced over 20 confirmed cases of monkeypox this year. The WHO says the current outbreak in several countries can likely be contained if countries act quickly.
Dr. Mwidimi Ndosi is Associate Professor of Rheumatology Nursing at the School of Health and Social Wellbeing at the University of the West England Bristol. He tells us more about monkeypox and the current outbreak.
Usually, if the incubation period is between 5 to 21 days, but before the symptoms begin, usually with monkeypox, it starts with swelling of lymph nodes, but after that, the symptoms like fever or temperature and things like headache, muscle ache, backache, chills, etc. may follow. And that is very similar to smallpox. And we know that it's not meant or is not known to bring severe disease on adults, but we do not know that for children it may cause severe disease, or for people who are immunocompromised. And therefore, it is important for people to report and to have this looked at so that we may be able to isolate or prevent transmitting to other people. That is helpful also to people who have been in contact with these people, because vaccination can be given even after contact with the infected person. Therefore, although there's not treatment for it, when people know that they've been in contact with somebody with monkeypox, they can get vaccine, and the vaccine can protect them from getting the disease. The smallpox vaccine is expected to be about, very effective, 85% effective against this virus as well, just because it's very much similar to smallpox virus. I think it is important just to be really watchful rather than worrying or being as concerned as well. And second, it's not a new virus. The only problem, this is the first outbreak outside Africa or involving a lot of other countries. And therefore, it is important to know what is happening. At the moment, I think the key things for people to know how this is transmitted and how to identify the symptoms, how they can report them. We do not know actually the source of this current outbreak. The UK Health Security Agency reported that the majority of cases were among people who were gay or bisexual. There's an investigation to see how this happened. It's not a known sexually transmitted disease, but because it's transmitted through close contact, we can say sexually transmissible rather than sexually transmitted disease. What we need to know about the linkage of cases perhaps is just people who have close contact with other people. I think that's what has been driving this current outbreak. And I know health workers in London that saw some of the cases, some of the people that were infected are isolating at home at the moment. They've been vaccinated, and that's all that can be done at the moment.
How concerned are you about monkeypox, and what are your thoughts on how the media covers disease outbreaks in relation to Africa? Here are some reactions from Kigali, Rwanda.
I'm concerned, of course, because it's traveling across different countries, and also maybe tomorrow or anytime it can reach our country.
Monkeypox is a very dangerous disease. It can spread easily, and I get worried about it.
It even takes people to hospitalization. You can go to hospital for months when you have monkeypox.
The word should stand for looking for the cure, the vaccine and everything. I know that I don't have to be worried. I'm safe when I'm positive. I'm not safe when I'm negative. When I think that I'm going again in lockdown, I'm going again to lose my job, my contracts are going to be ended because of the disease monkeypox. No, I'm safe because I know even if it comes, even if it doesn't come, I have to remain positive.
I only see black people. I never saw a white person with that monkeypox. And there are cases in Israel, there are cases in Spain, in other countries. So I don't know, maybe I don't know, but I never saw their hands, I only saw hands of black people.
Posting a black person picture with those bulbs, I see no problems, because for the first time this disease was discovered in countries like from Central and West Africa. So that's where for the first time it was discovered. And also to post a picture, you have to post a picture which shows a clear image. So if, for example, a white people cannot show the real symptoms of the disease, and maybe the real symptoms can be observed with a black people, I see no problem with posting that picture.
They have monkeypox on their land, and instead of using the pictures that they find on their land, on their country, on their people, they are just using black people pictures. And it's hidden, something like racism.
Although the disease started in Africa, but these people are trying to portray it as an African disease, which is not right. A disease cannot be African. It can easily explain. It can easily be transmittable. It can easily affect anyone.
Researchers at the University of Manchester in England have developed a saliva test to assess the genetic risk of breast cancer in women under 50. A woman's DNA is collected through a saliva sample when she gets a mammogram and is tested for 143 variations present in the DNA called polymorphisms. Polymorphisms have been linked to the risk of breast cancer in the previous PROCRAS study carried out in the Manchester area. Using saliva testing, medical history information, and breast density measurements, disease risk was predicted in just under 50% of cases. The study involved 2,500 women. Among them, 644 reported breast cancer. The scientists say the test could identify around half of the women who will have breast cancer in the next decade, and is particularly important for women under 50 who represent 1 in 5 cases of breast cancer. While the test gives hope for the screening of breast cancer, the researchers caution against excessive screening. Most sanitary pads available for women in Africa are relatively expensive and classified as single-use plastics, which means some take hundreds of years to decompose. To help tackle this environmental problem, a women-led Kenyan enterprise has created a low-cost, biodegradable pad made from agricultural waste. Juma Majanga reports from Thika, Kenya.
From a distance, you might think that Mary Nyarwai is simply disposing of agricultural waste at her home in Thika, on the outskirts of Nairobi. But what she is actually doing is making biodegradable sanitary pads. After facing difficulties finding safe quality pads herself, Nyarwai thought of a solution using readily available raw materials.
Maize is a staple in Africa, and this is waste. So I normally go and collect it from the market, and this is also waste. These leaves, pineapple leaves, are waste, so I also collect them from the farms. So when you combine that two, you make a very beautiful pad that is soft and also absorbs. It delivers on comfort and also absorption, and it's also sustainable, which is a very brilliant thing.
Once collected, these agricultural wastes undergo rigorous processes to break down the natural fibers and mold the raw materials into biodegradable sanitary pads. Nyarwai's company is called Nyungu Africa, loosely translated to Womb of Africa. Her pads are getting good reviews.
The difference was quite significant. It felt like I was sitting on clouds because the material is very different. Her pads are very soft. The absorbency is good. It becomes really quite a lifesaver for yourself.
In 2019, there was a widespread outcry on Kenyan social media questioning the quality of some pads on the market. Kenya's health ministry says it is attempting to maintain quality standards for the sanitary pads produced and sold in Kenya to protect consumers as well as the environment.
The strategy was broadly looking at sanitation being a person-friendly issue. Now, the bigger thing or the new thing in that strategy is that we were looking at empowering the individuals to be able to act.
Nyarwai hopes her innovation can help Kenyan women not only with their health, but also with their financial well-being.
Period poverty is a global crisis, but because Africa has a very large population of women who are marginalized and underserved, this is where period poverty really eats our women. This is it's a makeshift small industry. So it is possible to be replicated in very many areas, just to train the women how to, pick the right raw materials and to process them and then to make the pads.
And best of all, the pads are not made of plastic, which means they do no harm to the environment.
For the latest health news and coverage on the monkeypox outbreak, stay connected to Voice of America at voaafrica.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Linormudu. That's our show for today. Until next time, stay well and strive to make every day a healthy day.